You know, anytime you're vertical jigging in rivers, a little worm like this is a great thing to tip a jig with to imitate a lot of bait fish. Now, we made our worm a little bit different. This is our thump worm. There's a few things we did differently than the standard worms that are on the market. First, we made it a little bit longer. That's on purpose because in the Detroit River specifically, there is an animal that swims into the Detroit River, usually there mid to late April, and it spawns for about a week. It's called a silver lamprey. It's about 4.5, 5 inches long. So we made our worm a little bit longer to imitate that lamprey. And when those lampreys are in the river, the walleyes in the Detroit River absolutely gorge themselves on them. So we wanted a little bit longer worm to imitate that lamprey. Then what we did is we cut it back to the sex collar. So here's a sex collar right here, this little round barrel that's on every crawler, live or plastic. And now if you pinch the plastic off forward of the sex collar, you now got that traditional 3-inch worm that imitates a log perch, imitates long skinny bait fish, just a great imitator down on the bottom of any river that you're fishing, and now we can fish it. Now, with the pinch off being at the sex collar, now I've got this big round ball of plastic that's got a lot of holding power. Now it's going to hold on my jig collar and it's not going to rip because it's not a thin piece of plastic, it's now a thick piece of plastic. Then what we did is we have a flat side, there's a flat bottom down here and then a round oval side at the top. This is important. If you rig this worm with the flat side up, the tail will hang down, you'll get more tail action. If you rig it with the round side up, it's not going to hang as light and you're going to get a little bit less action. So round side up gives it a little more action. So we've got some versatility in the worm. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick that's going to help you, number one, keep your worms on your jig a lot longer, right? So here it is. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that we're right in the center of that worm when we start to thread it. We're going to thread it on to about halfway around the bend, right about there. Then what I'm going to do, I don't want to put the hook through yet. Now I'm going to rotate that plastic 360 degrees. Now what I've done is that barb has caught some of that plastic, and now as I slide it on, I can actually feel that plastic kind of catch on the hook. I put it up over our wire hook keeper. That plastic is not coming off. So now with this big heavy sex collar here on the collar of the jig or on this wire keeper that we use, and that little twist I did, that worm's not coming off. You can catch 15, 20, 25, 30 fish without that worm coming off. Get the right worm. Our Signature Series thump worms, you can get them at walleye101.com. Check them out. Use them in 2 different sizes, rig them up properly, and you're going to catch a lot more fish this year when you're vertical jigging in rivers.